Back to you all so late. Whoever will be viewing this, this is part 2 of rebuilding a mic, re-ribboning it, making kind of a Royer type of a ribbon in a $99, probably less, microphone. The donor body was a mint, brand new, still wrapped up R40. What I like about them, they do have sometimes a bigger gap in the transducer. So this one happened to be, I think, almost 5.5. No, actually 430. I think 420 something. All right, I'm out of breath because I ran in here really quick. Life was upon me. I had some other stuff to do in my life. And now I'm back on this. My brain is still like, what? What am I doing? Where am I doing it? All right. To all my friends that were in the UK, I don't think you're going to be tuning in. Joey and Paul, I can't imagine you guys are still awake. All right. So this is part 2 of basically rewiring a microphone in pure silver wiring. I've already done the ribbon. Looks like a beauty. I've also changed this to a kind of a brass type, maybe copper grill. I'm about to make a ground loop, kind of like a humbucker pickup, around this ribbon. So that is looking down on the mic. This is, if you can see it, that is about 9 inches of pure silver wiring. 9 on this side, 9 on that side. That is 18. And then I have 2 of these, which are 6 inches. That's 1 foot. So 1 foot plus 18. I guess you can say it's 2.5 feet of pure silver wiring, which is crazy old school wiring. I believe it's 18 gauge. Yeah, I believe it's 18 gauge. But I think it's in a 10 gauge cover. So it's a bunch of silver wiring kind of put together. Do this a little bit more. I'm going to reset these again. So yeah, so now I'm about to do the ground loop around that. So if you're joining me, this is part 2. And everything I've done was I built my own ribbon mic, so I have all these really cool little parts. So this part right here is what that part is. Obviously, it's not the same shape. Kind of bent it and folded it on each other. And then I need a ground wire coming off there. There'll be 2 wires connecting there. There's 1 and 2. And then I made this bracket, or this little thing. I cut it, and I cut this small little piece off that I'm going to be putting on this screw right there. I'm going to take off that screw, apply this, and then I'll be soldering a ground onto that. So I'm just kind of making this as we go along. I've already done a few. This is going to be number 6 of my pure silver wiring, and like I said, it's about 2.5 feet of pure silver wiring. I guess technically on market, I mean, this is from the 70s, so I mean, it's pretty pure back then. I don't know if it's changed, but it's about 150 to 200 bucks of silver. I had bought a bulk, massive amount of this early on because I was going to build my own ribbon mics, and I thought, oh, super cool to make them out of silver. And after I did my first mic and I went through, like I said, almost 2.5, 3 feet of silver, I was like, I don't have enough silver to do this. I'm already running out already. So this is, I made one last week and sold within a day to my buddy in Tacoma, Washington. So this is going to be number 2, actually number 6, but of recent. This is what the body looks like. Super rad. That's some I think it's car body paint. I got it a while ago. Just love the color. And so yeah, so this is going to be the outer shell. OGMC is my ribbon mic company, original GravityWave microphone company. And yeah, it's the green Monalishi. And there it is. So that microphone will be put into this body. I do upgrades. So basically, these are MXL R40s, but R144s are what people go on. If you look at any of my older videos, you'll see people that buy them for 99 bucks. And if you can contact me first, I'll give you my P.O. box because Sweetwater ships for free. So basically, you contact me, you say, hey, Manny, I want 1 or 2. Most people get 2. I recommend 2 because I can do them both at the same time, and getting a stereo pair is really awesome for ribbon mics, drums, overheads, um, backup vocals. I mean, just totally useful. Acoustic guitar, maybe one for singing, one on the acoustic. So they buy them for 99 bucks, and then they get my P.O. box first, and then they ship them to me for free. And then my fee is $250 each mic. And then for that, I actually return the shipping for free. I insure it for the cost of the microphone, which is usually about 99 bucks each. And then I insure it for the cost of either 1 or 2 mics on the upgrade. So when I ship it back to you, it's fully covered. And then also, if by chance you plug it in, and these don't work with phantom power, but if you by chance get it the day I send it to you and you happen to blow it, which has happened to me twice already with someone that have bought these and didn't realize their 48 volts were active, and they blew the mics just instantly. It's just 30 bucks for each ribbon, and cover the postage, and I'll take care of you. So whenever these mics go out, as long as we have an agreement where I've done them for you, you can always send them back to me. Just cover me 30 bucks for the ribbon and cover the postage, and I'll repair the mic. So this way you could use them, drums, overheads. You know, you have a gnarly record and you may blow the ribbon. Don't worry about it, man. And honestly, that's what Jack White does. He uses Coles a lot, Cole 4038s. And after every record, he sends them in. I mean, ribbons are kind of like tires in a car. I mean, that's the ribbon inside that one. If you can see it. Yeah. So I installed that one. The one that was in it, if you see in part 1, just looked like a mess. It was just all crooked in there and kind of hanging out. Wasn't even tensioned, wasn't tuned. And these 2 wires, like I said, this is, I put a black line on this. This is the ground, and this is positive. So I'm going to be connecting those later. So now we're back into business. I think my solder iron is kind of heated up. And now we're going to be like almost like a humbucker pickup. The ground, if you're missing this, I know you're probably just tuning in. The ground is coming into this bracket right here. Let me get my light. My light game is just totally off. There it goes. It's way better. The ground was coming in here with some Megami wiring. So I took the Megami wiring out, and this is going to be going to where it was connected. It's have minus and plus on the side of the transformer where it goes in. So I'll be putting the ground here. The ground's coming up through this. And the ground initially was just going into a little bracket screwed into here that goes down into the transducer of the motor, and that makes this all ground. So that is happening already, but then off that, I put this wonderful thing that I kind of bent and made so it worked the way I wanted it to work, which is, I guess it's like that, but it's totally bent, not the same way. I've actually had a little, I used it kind of like a washer, so it went in between here. So that comes up to here, and there's 2 holes here. So out of this hole, I'm going to put 1 ground that's going to come around, and it's going to connect to another bracket here. And then that ground is going to come out and come here. And we will see. We'll see what happens. Let me see what I do here. Can't remember how I did this before. It's still stupid. I did this earlier. Not earlier, but well, first of all, let me prep these 2 ends for being soldered, but I gotta just see if it's gonna work. What am I doing here? That one's gonna go there. I guess we know what we're doing. Somehow we're doing it. Let's do that. Got a hot solder gun here heating up. have solder hit that. And if you're tuning in, this is part 2 of putting pure silver wiring inside this mic, which honestly has the smoothest top end of all the ribbons I do. Silver just kind of does it up. All right, and we'll do it for that. Let's do the other side. Just kind of making it easier for me. Sorry, I just hit my solder gun. I think it's possibly time for a new tip on this guy, but we're gonna wing it today. So that one is done. The next one. Yeah, this is a real slow burn. Don't, like I said, there's some guys in Pakistan that are, a car axle is broke and they're going to weld it back together for you and you're going to trip out. And they're going to say, this guy should be paid more. And he's going to show you how he, for $29 with chains and all pulleys, not only repair an axle from a truck, but weld it back together, and then the truck's gonna drive away. And the question was, do you think this guy should be paid more? Or some, I don't know what it is. It's those videos on, I always watch those, man. I'm a sucker for that stuff. All right, come on, motherfucker. This is the wrong side. Hold on now. Hold on now. This guy works perfect. And then once I get this, I've already placed a ribbon in it, so part one was that. I mean, there is a small possibility that through doing all this, I'm gonna ruin the ribbon possibly, and then I'll have to do it again. But to the most part, I think we're okay. I believe we're okay for a second. So I just did one last week from a style and a design that I used to do a long time ago. And I'm just trying to follow the same way that I did it. I may have to recut these. I don't remember now. I should remember this stuff. But, you know, it's one of those things where like, oh, I won't forget that. And then you're just like, oh, which bracket was that? How did I do that? All right, so this is where it's going to get possibly a little nasty. Let's just see what we've got here. Hold on. Don't hate me. Don't hate me for this, but that's what we're doing. That's right. You saw it. No disclaimers. This is legal. Hold on, a little messy flux capacitor. I see you dripping on me right here. Come on now. What do you think you're doing? You're getting on my schnizzle manizzle. Let's get that out of there. That's what we're doing. See? Don't trip. I'm tripping. Don't trip. All right, that's fine. Dude, that's right. You're in Lancaster. And you have the electric piano? Is that what you got? There was something you got. Welcome, Juan. You were here earlier, man. I appreciate you coming back. I thought maybe I lost you after that first one. You're just like, you know what? Screw that guy. Silver schmilver. Just use some Mogami. It's fine. Some guy at Guitar Center told me that the Mogami is the best in the world, and why would you put silver in a $100 mic? Why would you put 150 to 200 bucks of silver in a $99 microphone? That is the question. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they make microphones sound badass when I re-ribbon them, and when you put silver in it, you just get this something something. I don't know what to tell you. The high end is just smooth as fuck, as they say in France. Smooth as fuck. They do say that. All right, so let me get my brain on. I just kind of walked in here. I left everything up the way I had it. I acted like I knew what I was doing, and now that I walk in, I go, what am I doing? Where am I doing? Where am I at? Juan, you are my witness that tell everyone that I did okay earlier. It wasn't too bad. Okay, so I need to do is put on the other bracket. That's what I need to do. So this one, hello, could you make homemade ribbon? Yes, I could. I did. My very first video that you'll see about 4 years ago, I made my own ribbon mic. So, Jonah, if you want to know, I'll give you the tip of the day. I was inspired by a cat named Ulf, U-L-F. Ulf is in Sweden. If you look up the YouTube called Hobo Rec, H-O-B-O, and then R-E-C, like recording, Hobo, R-E-C, Hobo Rec. He inspired me and why I'm even here doing this. He made a video called How to Make a Ribbon Mic, and he was making them for a while. And he was so inspiring when I saw this like 5 years ago. I don't know when he made the video. Could have made it 10 years ago. I don't remember. But at the time, I didn't even know fucking anything. I mean, yeah, Hobo Rec. And I went and watched the video, and I just was like, holy fucking crazy. You can make a mic like that? So I got inspired. I got plexiglass. I did everything he did, I did. And then once I made the mic, I got this idea that I would work on Buyer 160s, which those are my favorite mics. So before I even made my first microphone, I started cutting ribbons and learning how to handle the ribbon, which is all that work that you see me do there. And because 160s, I didn't know at the time, no one makes those, because there's these like 2 ladies or 5 ladies that are in Germany or wherever they make them that do them, and really difficult to make. They're piston style ribbons. I decided to make my own. So after I made my own ribbons, they're like, I started refurbishing my friends' 160s that were blowing. And then I come to find out that no one was really doing that because the ribbons are piston style. And I was making piston style ribbons. So once I got into ribbons like this, which are pretty massive, I was like, holy fuck, these are so big. And Buyer 160s are, just to show you, here's my little Buyer 160 graveyard. But they're really tiny. Those smallest little lined one, that's them. There's a bunch of them in there. Not the bigger one, but the little one. So after I did 160s, everything else seemed really easy. 160s were the most difficult mics to change because there's 2 ribbons that lay on top of each other. And I had to figure out how to do those. And once I did, these ones just seemed to come really easy to me. So I started kind of backwards on the hardest mic. And up to recently, now I'm doing coals, which were incredibly difficult to handle and incredibly difficult to corrugate. So I'm doing those, and it was just one of those evolutions of getting better and better and better. And now, pretty confident with doing most ribbons. This mic in particular is kind of a half of my own creation of what I used to do on my custom mic, my own ribbon mics I used to make. But all I'm doing is incorporating somewhat of the same style into this mic. So bear with me. I got to get this done. It's already late here in Cali. And that was for Jonah. My little Manny rap about Ulf. And actually crazy, Ulf is my friend now. When he comes to Los Angeles, we go to he's vegan, so we go eat at Nick's Cafe. And he's my bud. Yeah, man. You're close. You're in France. Well, not close, but at least you're on that side of the world. But yeah, I can call Ulf one of my dearest friends. He makes an amazing robot microphone arm, which you should probably buy him, and his pop designed it. It's like, it could be more, but maybe it's close to 400 US dollars. I don't know what that would be in pounds or your side of the world. But yeah, and then he also makes a guitar right now that fucking looks unreal. And he makes ribbon mics, and he makes guitar pedals, and he's a badass producer. Man, you can't. And then he is in a super cool band with his girlfriend. I mean, the guy just has it all going on. Super sweetheart too. Couldn't have asked for a nicer guy. So yeah, I can't believe I saw him on YouTube. He changed my life, literally. And then now I hang out with that guy when he comes into LA, and he's just a badass. So I'm taking off this one screw to add a ground to this. Even though the ground is still going inside the transducer from over here, I'm taking a ground out to this piece, and then I'm going to put another one right here and make kind of a two-piece loop for the ground. Yeah, man. I'm here doing this because Ulf, I saw him. I don't know him. He lives in Sweden. And I was like, holy fuck, what this guy's doing, I want to do that. And then here I am 5 years later, and I'm pure silver wiring and ribbons, and I have my own ribbon mic company. My own ribbon mic will come out realistically in a year. I just got some more pictures from the prototypes that we're going to get made. I'm going to make 3 prototypes, send them out to my buds, try them out. I mean, hopefully do everything besides throwing them and trying to break them. I just want to make sure they're really good. I'm really, as much as I'm a stickler on design, on microphones working, well, when it comes to my own mic, it's just got to work. It's got to sound badass. And I'm going to give it to some people, who are going to be fucking crazy critical. I'm going to give one to Daniel Lanois. I took some ribbons over to his house maybe a year and a half ago, and I told him I was going to make him a ribbon. So I can't wait till I get it done and be able to drive over to his place, and hopefully Daniel likes it. And if he doesn't like it, I'm actually welcome to that as well. Tell me what you don't like about it, and I'll try to improve on it. So yeah, this isn't about, like, I was always saying, failures are successes. So I don't give a fuck if he hates it. Tell me what you don't like about it, and then I'll try to fix it. And maybe that's one of those things where maybe it takes a year for Daniel Lanois to like what I did until he likes it. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm fucking stoked. All right, so let me do this. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm losing my mind. Yes, ribbons are definitely made for drums. The Beatles, those were ribbon overheads on his drums. Steve Albini, there a little bit too much. Steve Albini used them for drums. Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin, probably one of the most famous drum things, were 2x160s. So throughout the world, ribbon mics have always been part of rock and roll history. Frank Sinatra, we go back to him. Ribbon mics are some of the oldest technology for microphones. I worked on one for the 1930s, a Telefunken, maybe even 20. It was the oldest fucking ribbon I've ever seen. So I worked on that mic before, and then also RCA 74Bs, and I just did some GECs that came out of Europe. Those are 1940s. So 1940s, 1930s, ribbons go back really, really far in the history of music, and they still to this day, man, really desirable. Like, don't count them out. Like, don't be all about a tube mic, because ribbons will get you there. Holy cows, I'm really doing this, huh? Just putting a little bit too much extra flex on everything. I'm just winging it. But once again, it's not a beauty contest. We'll get this sorted out. Don't trip. Don't trip, motherfuckers. Don't get insulted that I called you a motherfucker either. I'm just the way I talk. Where are my tweezers? Thank you. Well, I don't have a lollipop design yet, but if you wanted to get a lollipop design and you want to save some money, I would look on eBay. You can either get a Cascade, which are a little expensive. They're still, $200, $250 to $400 for Cascades. Pinnacles are also new ones in Golden Age. I would say Golden Age, don't get those because the polarity is reversed on at least the ones that I've worked on. I mean, you can get one, but I can definitely have to reverse the polarity, which is not a big deal. Cheaper than that are getting Nady RSM4s. Those are lollipops. Really hard to find. I don't know why. They made a zillion of them, and they're just fucking hard to find. And then there's an RSM5 by Nady, which is pretty great too. Those are great donor bodies for upgrading. As far as me making a lollipop, no, I'm gonna do one, but I'm not sure when I'm going to do that design, but definitely is not gonna happen for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, send me a message and I'll let you know. All the mics I do most of the times is $250 for upgrading them. So whether you buy an RSM4 Nady, an RSM5 Nady, you get a Pinnacle, you get a Cascade Lollipop. I have 4 Cascades that came in, and I'm gonna do them maybe tomorrow, the next day. Yeah, it's $250 usually. This mic I'm working on right now is going to be 5 even, and that covers me shipping it to you for free in the US only, and also there's probably about $150 to $200 in silver wiring in it. I know, why did I put that? Because I love the way it sounds, and also if this was a regular mic it would have been upgraded. So it's 500, and also it's fully insured. I'm going to send it if you're in the US. Oh yeah, this would be sick for drums. Um, if you're in the US, I'll send it to you fully insured, fully covered. And let's say you get this mic and once again, I said this earlier, if you plug it in and you accidentally blow it, it's just $30 to cover the ribbon cost, and you pay for shipping, and I'll re-ribbon this mic again. And since I worked on it, there shouldn't be any problems, and I'll definitely help you out, really help you make sure you're never down on your luck when it comes to Manny getting you a ribbon. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that was fair to share with you. I need to get that screwed in with the screw. And this is going to be one of the grounds, the last ground I'm going to do. can use ribbon on snares as well. The snare that I'm putting here is pretty durable, but I don't really recommend it. You can do that with AEA N22s. Those aren't really made, the ribbons aren't made any stronger. They just put more gauze and stuff in between the mic. So yeah, you can use them. I wouldn't recommend it for the bottom of the snare, but definitely for oh, you can use it on the bottom. I have used it. Matter of fact, I've used an N22 under the snare. And like I said, it just takes sound pressure really well. So you can do that. Or room, you are correct. All right, let me just see something really quick here. Gonna do it. Just want to make sure everything's good. Nothing wrong with double checking. So I'm gonna make sure these are both tight. Holy moly, we're getting close to this. I'm just gonna move this one a little bit over so I can kind of get a load at what I'm doing here. All right. Wow. I don't know why I decided to do these things live, but it's a little stressful, but also fuck it, right? Just fuck it, Manny. All right, so let's see here. So that's what I'm gonna do. Started here. I have a soldering gun next to me, and I have a bottle of Topo Chico, which is cold. And like I move my hand over, and my hand touches the cold bottle of water. I'm like, oh shit! I'm like, oh my god, I'm so fucking freaked out about burning myself right now. You know what I'm saying, man? You catch my drift? All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna do it like that. It's just a ground lip though. And the way I did it before was to do a little wrap. Put a little river by there, a little happy river. Put a little happy river and a little birdie flying in the air. A little bird flying in the air. I know what you're saying. You're like, Manny, are you fucking high right now? What the fuck are you doing? And I'll just say, no, I'm not fucking high, and I've never done drugs, but I am an artist, and we are weird, and we do weird stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing, motherfucker. This done a certain way before, and this is not the way I was going to be doing it. But since it is my way or the highway, you know what that means. If you don't like it, you could go of the highway. In here, what are you doing? I'm just getting distance out of this, that's all. The longer the wiring, somewhat the better the low end. I don't mind that. I'll tighten that up later. Most of it I just want to make a loop and use a lot of wiring. Don't judge. It's not a beauty contest. No one's going to see it. Don't trip. I'll make it better. Don't worry. All right, so Daddy, right? Come on now. It's okay. Don't trip. Don't trip. I'm not tripping. Just trying to get as much wire in there as possible. I'm not going to cut it. I don't want to shorten it. I'll keep it long. It's pretty much like a humbucker. I needed to do humbucking around the ribbon. Kind of get this going in there, motherfuckers. That's better. I'll fix it later. Everything's I'll fix it later. Holy cows. Don't trip. Don't trip. Who's tripping? Are you tripping? I'm not tripping. Just let me tuck this motherfucker in a little bit. I mean, that's the good thing about this wire. It's fucking heavy duty. You know what I'm saying, motherfuckers? But if you don't know what I'm saying, it's okay. I don't even know what I'm saying. I know. I'm just trying to use as much wire as possible. I know. It's not a beauty contest. This mic's gonna be fucking covered up. It's gonna sound fucking good. No one fucking cares. I don't care. So, I think we're gonna cut this a little bit less, so. And then we just covered up our fucking schnizzle manizzles. Just fucking covered that shit up. We don't want to do that. I know. Looks like a rat's nest. It is in some ways. A silver rat's nest. The wiring touching the transistor isn't a big deal, but I do need to get access to that. And I don't mind it being larger over the ribbon. As long as I get access to that, I don't give a fuck. That's what I did last time. I was under it. I'm trying to figure out what I did last time. That's what I did. It's okay. Don't trip. I'm tripping. Holy cows. Holy motherfucking cows. Okay, so. Oh shit, Paul's back. We got someone in from France. Oh fuck, I'm always saying in France, that's what they would say, and I got a guy actually in France, so I apologize when I go, holy fucking shit, and I say, you know, pardon my French. That guy's gonna be like, Manny, you are fucking higher than fuck. I know you tell people they don't do drugs, but you're fucking higher than shit. Schnizzle manizzle. There it is. That's what I did last time. I got it. I got it, Ming. You got it, Ming. I got it, Ming. All right. You got it, man. Come on, let's do this, motherfucker. You got it. You got it, man. Am I talking to myself? Or am I talking to my buddy Paul in UK and my buddy in France? I like France. Here's a story about France. Let me tell you. Here's a story about France. This is a true story. For the first 5 years of me making records, I didn't use my own name. I think it was I counted like 1,300 singles and records I did. I used my grandmother's name, Frances Miranda. And my reason of using my grandmother's name, Frances Miranda, because I didn't care. I was just like, even though Steve Albini showed me how to record, I wasn't always about like fame and fortune and everything it does. I thank you all. But I just thought it would be cool. And I'm not even lying about this. I thought it'd be cool if someone in France picked up a record and they're like, this band is fucking incredible. Who produced it? Frances Miranda. I mean, Frances could be a man, but I spelt it like my grandmother, so hopefully they would know that was a woman. And I wanted them to just go, holy fuck, Frances Miranda, this is a sick record. So I did a band called Chokebore, which is a pretty massively big band in France. And I also did a band called Health. No, Health was my own name. Well, basically, let's just go Chokebore. Chokebore was my first record I ever did in 1998 or 99, I think. And they're from Hawaii. Their claim to fame is they opened up for Nirvana. Super fucking sick band. My first fucking record out the gate. And they're ex-Amphetamine Reptile, which was this sick label in the Midwest. So my first two records were the ex-guys from Hammerhead, which is a band called Vaz, V-A-Z. The record's called Dying to Meet You. If you want to look it up on YouTube, look up Vaz, V-A-Z. Then the album's called Dying to Meet You. And then look up Chokebore, It's a Miracle. And so I did Chokebore. And I was thinking to myself, like, that was my second record. Then the label that they were signed to, I didn't even think about it, that was in France. So I already forgot about my whole reason why I used Frances Miranda. And then when I was traveling through China, 2011 or 13, maybe 2010, I saw this band, an all-girl band. They were fucking insane. Oh my God, what was the name of them? Oh, Jesus, something. Anyways, I saw this band, all girls, and I fucking write them, and they're on a small label out of France. And I wrote them. I said, I love your band. My name's Manny. And I sent them a link to all the bands I'd done, not remembering that I had changed my name back to Manny Nieto, but I think some of the records I sent them were under Frances Miranda, my grandmother. And the guy on the label in France wrote me back. He goes, Frances Miranda, one of my favorite records, Chokebore. And I was like, oh my God, a guy in France who has his own record store, has his own label, picked up an album and said, who the fuck recorded this? And it was Frances Miranda, my grandmother. And that came true. I mean, I thought about that. Changed my name. I'm Frances Miranda. Would it be cool if someone in France picked up a record I did and be like, who the fuck is Frances Miranda? And it exactly happened that way with Chokebore. And so, yeah, I get goosebumps thinking about how that worked out. By putting it out in the universe, anything can happen. All right, so I'm doing my little sidewind here. I'm going to get this motherfucker sidewinded over this little rat's nest. So it's going to come up like a snake, a cobra head, and just get my little schnizzle manizzle right there. Like I said, it's not a beauty contest, Just trying to use real estate. I just got to get this motherfucker to solder in right there. That's all easier said than done. I like it. Oh shit, I don't like it. Son of a bitch. I don't like it at all. What are you doing to me? Paul's watching now from England. Let's get this motherfucker in there. Come on. Come on. So I'm basically making like a humbucker, like a pickup and a guitar. I'm surrounding it by ground. It's going to help with keeping it not noisy and radio waves out of the ribbon mic. And, oh, it just came undone again. Son of a bitch. That is not the way you want to do it. This is how we do it. Nope. This is not how we do it. I'm going to have to just put some pressure on this and lock it in with pressure. All right, that's good. Just fucking melt in the motherfucker. Stop fucking with this. Motherfucker. This is all fucking ground. It's not like I have to worry about it touching a positive. These are ceramic tweezers, which are perfect for that. I don't know if your hands have ever heated up from touching those. Thank you, Paul. So yeah, so this is my own little design. I added this clip here. Look at, I'm not even saying like I'm a badass. I'm just fucking being creative here. This is like a work of art I'm making, but it's like junkyard art. So I added this bracket here that goes off this ground, which is off the transducer. The ground is entering this screw, and that is going into the whole transducer. So then off this ground, I made a bracket, this one. I put the first ground here that wraps around. It connects back again with the ground here. I made that bracket. Then that bracket extends out, and I connect another ground that's going to come around here. Now this is the positive, which is running down the center. So now I got the positive here, and I got a negative here. As far as the front of the mic, I just want to make sure that go in there. All right, we're good. Don't break it as I remove it. Yeah, you're good. Of course you're gonna fuck with me as I'm gonna move it. All right. And if you're wondering what, I think people have tuned in a little bit later. This microphone is a ribbon microphone. I've already done the ribbon in it, which is killer. When I get done with the microphone, oh shit, hold on, dropping my schnizzles. So this is part 2. Part 1, I did the ribbon. I thought I was optimistic I'd get it all done, one and done. I didn't. So once the mic is done, it will look like this. That's the body. It's my green Monolishi. This is the 6th one I've ever made. And I'm not even lying. I didn't intentionally plan on doing it like this. I did one last week, and it sold within a day. And the guy's super pumped on it. And then I thought about it. I'm like, I still had some silver wiring. I'll make another one. So I had a donor body. I had a Mint R40, which has a little bit of a bigger gap than the 144s. So I got a Mint one, unwrapped it, never used, gutted it. And there's the rewiring of it. And I'm stoked. And these microphones, that one I sent to my buddy, I tested it. All I can say is that when I checked the mic, I was like, oh my God, this thing is so smooth. It really is smooth. The upper frequencies, Silver has a nice way of just rounding it off almost to like anything that's abrasive, it's not going to be there. So, wait, why did you go by Francis Miranda? I know, right? Francis Miranda is my grandmother, my nana. Mr. Juan, you know what a nana is to people. My nana was everything to me, more than my mom. My nana is the reason I'm an artist. So when I became a producer, I just paid homage to her. And sadly, my grandmother died in my arms in 1996, and I opened up my first studio in 1998, and I decided to dedicate my work to my grandmother. So that's why and the only reason I changed my name is I was working with Kim Deal from the Pixies making a Breeders record, and Steve Albini worked with me on that record, and Steve Albini also showed me how to record. And Steve just sat me down and said, "Hey man, I just want to let you know, I know why you used your name, Francis Miranda, but there's going to be a time in your life people are going to need to find you, and you got to use your real name." And after that point, for the Breeders record, was my first record that I became Manny Nieto. And that was in 2008, maybe 2009. The album's called Mount Battles, but also I did a bunch of singles on every one of Kim Deal's solo records. If you want to look up a song called Wish I Was, that's from her new record, and I recorded that as well. So Kim Deal's latest album on 4AD, I did the single Wish I Was, and I recorded it with Kim. So that's a little bit of Manny history. So I'm not just some motherfucking joker. I'm actually not a toker either. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm doing here, just to kind of give you a little look. I know it looks like almost like Predator's fucking head with a little extension. I basically just use this because you don't have to do this. I could have made a ground loop and just did like a little T where you have the two wires meet, but I didn't want to do anything that connected the solder onto anywhere on the transducer. And so my thinking was to get the solder off the transducer and off the unit was to make my own brackets. So this bracket is just a screw that went there, and I bent it into that configuration, and then I had two holes right there, which were good enough for the solder to pour in and me to put the wires there. And then this one over here was the same thing. That connector was out of a piece like this that I just cut, and I only used it for that. So yeah, so we're almost done. This is the head of the microphone. If you look at the back, it's pretty crazy. And then if you look at what's going on here, that's all the schnizzle manizzles. So looking at it closely, yeah, it's not a beauty contest. It definitely looks like something that gun that was looking over Predator's head. Yeah, it is what it is. But the purpose is I didn't want to cut the wiring. That is 6 inches of silver wiring, 6 inches of silver wiring, and this is 9 inches of silver wiring and 9 inches of silver wiring. 9 plus 9 is 18, and then a foot on 18, which is 12. So it's 30 inches of silver wiring in a 4-inch area. And to me, that's what I wanted to do. Now, when it comes to this part, this is fun. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I do have solder on both of these. Okay. This is the ground. So what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to start kind of like a ponytail hair wind, because I want the cabling to, I got to get I got to tie down. What I want to do is, it's not going to stay if I start wrapping. It's going to come undone. So the first wrap, I'm just going to say it right here. Start it. Sorry about that. I want it to stay. I don't want it to come undone. So I'll just start it right there. when you saw the pictures of the other ones, it's because I want them to wrap the reason I want to wrap it, my Elmer Fudd impersonation, is it's good for radio waves. It keeps radio waves from getting in your mic. And if you see a lot of really, even like all those boutique ribbon companies, and you see the transducers connected and they're all wound, and that's the way they all do them. And that's just a way of making sure that, it gets a good, cancels out any radio waves that are going to get into this microphone. So as you can tell, that's why I tie wrapped it right there, because I'm just doing a little thing, and I'm actually going to have to do another one. I forgot I needed two. One more. Is that going to do it for me? I think that'll do it for me. Hold that thought. Let me grab my tie wrap. Don't go away. I just don't want this to come undone. You know what I'm sharing, man? You catch my drift, motherfuckers? Even if you don't, I'm okay with that. So I've kind of bound them all together because I want them to be wrapped up. Helps with radio waves. I'm also using the length of the cabling because I believe it helps with low end. And the silver wiring is super, as they say in France, motherfucking smooth. Sorry, dude. I know I got my homie from France on here, and maybe he went to bed. But if you watch it, I'm just letting you know I'm sorry for the... I love France. I debated about living in France. Actually, my dream, if there's a bucket list, is to record at the Black Box in France. Chokeboard, the band I work with, and also Steve Albini, the guy that showed him, I think it was Ian Bergs or something like that. I think he built a studio called the Black Box in the south of France. So my whole relation to France is something I'm obsessed with. So if you hear me talking about France, where I say motherfucking this, motherfucking that, what do they say in France? No disrespect. I love France, and I would love to work over there and work with the band. That's for sure. Sorry. Have I ever done rap music? No, but my bass player was in Dr. Octagon. Juan Alderete, who was in the Mars Volta. Mars Volta did their second record, Francis the Mute, at my old studio, which that's a story in itself. They had a song called Miranda something, and they called the record Francis the Mute. And the ironic story was they didn't give me any credit on that record. Omar had this weird thing where no one got any credit, but he only put the addresses of the studios. And what was weird about that is that some people had recorded them at their house. So on the record were these home addresses, but they got my address wrong anyways. I was 3408 and they put 3400. But my bass player Juan, who knows they didn't give me any credit and he was kind of apologetic for it, I said, hey, I don't know if you noticed, man, the record's called Francis the Mute, and then the backside it says Miranda. That's my grandmother, Francis Miranda. So even though I was blacked out and they weren't going to use my credit, I still got Francis Miranda on the Mars Volta record, which is I'm super proud those guys did that. And actually, not too much later, Omar flew me out to Europe. And that was one of my first times. No, I went to Abbey Road already. Wait, let me think. Where did I go first? No, I think I went to Europe with Mars Volta first. So I went out there when Ike was in the band. Ike was alive, God rest his soul. And I flew out there for Altamall's party. And Omar paid for my whole trip. And I toured with them all the way down south and then back out. So yeah, Omar definitely took care of me after the fact. And that was really cool. But I still thought it was pretty interesting that I still made the cut, Francis Miranda. Speaking of that, let me get my light game going on because I gotta get some funky soldering going on here. I gotta make that shit work. This is how we do it. I don't know if this is how we do it, but this is how I'm gonna do it. And we're gonna see if this is really gonna fucking work. Alright. Let me get my famous ceramic tweezers. A little wiggle them out. Come on. Alright, that's our first cut. So we have so we need to holy shit. Yeah, Francis and me. It was super sick. That was when they had John Theodore on drums, Ike, and they basically booked my studio out for, I think it was like a whole summer. I gave it to them for 3 months. They cut the drums for that record in Australia. I think they cut it to tape at some studio, like the rhythm section. And then Omar came into my studio. And then after they had gotten done, Omar really loved my studio, obviously, for him to come into it again. And I recorded one of Omar's solo records. So if you look at Omar Rodriguez's solo album, I don't know the name of it. It was so weird with credits and names, but it's a black record that has a framed flower on it. That record initially was the first Mars Volta record with a drummer named Blake, and Alex Newport tracked it. So before they went to Rick Rubin's, they had made a record with Blake, the original drummer, before John Theodore. And they had the tapes for it, but eventually they changed their style up. So Omar had this tape that was technically their first record with Blake. And then they came in, and I used to have a 24-track tape machine. So they brought their tapes in, and then they brought in John Frusciante, and John Frusciante came in and fucking blew my mind because there's a song on there that you hear, a melodica, which is that kind of plastic keyboard that you blow into and you play. Well, Cedric did some crazy, like just some weird stuff over a song. And then Omar asked John Frusciante when I was recording him, he says, "Hey, John, can you double his melodica?" And I'm thinking to myself, wow, what a fucking question. That's insane. I play guitar fucking great, but so John Frusciante asked me if I'd rewind the tape and play it. So I played it one time, and the first time I rewound it, he almost played it note for note. I was like, oh, fuck. And then I rewound it again, and then he did it on the second take. And it was mind-blowing, like weird. And John Frusciante's ear was that good that he picked it up and he did it. So, oh, that didn't do it. I'm glad I was talking some shit. And that just did not do it. I'm going to do this. Come on. Just fucking stay down there. Come on. Do it. Just, you got it. You got it. You got it, man. No. Well, good thing is, though, if it doesn't stay, I'll do it again. Okay, so I want to do is, I want to bend it to not be coming in that angle. We like it. We like it. All right, so then I want to bring the positive, which I want to come in again at another angle and kind of do me right. Do me right, mine. Watching this is like a heavy gauge silver wiring that I'm covering this whole mic in, kind of surrounding it to be all silver. It adds low end, has a super smooth sound for ribbon mics. I am completely excited about this. Okay. So that was the positive going in there, and that was the negative also. Now you see all that wiring, but the good thing about this microphone is that this is kind of a jack of all trades made for a bunch of other stuff. So that whole area, which was made for electronics, if this was a tube or a condenser mic, is available for me to use the real estate for this cabling. So I don't necessarily care how this looks going into it, but I do want to say is I do want it to be all bound up like this because it helps with radio waves. So I'm going to just kind of grab this in there. I don't want to tear any of the magamis that have already been in there. I know that doesn't look like a beauty, but it's going to be all covered up inside a microphone. Holy cow. So give me a second to turn off my solder. I will test this and I'll let you know, but that's technically 2.5 feet of pure silver wiring inside that microphone, which is insane. Technically about $150 to $200 of pure silver. It was from the 1970s, I believe. It's really old school. I'm sure the purity of it was probably even better back then. They didn't really care about how they do things now. Give me a second. I'm going to change my whole scenery to put the mic together. I'm just undoing the soldering iron. Give me 1 second. I don't want to be burned and scarred for life walking around with my solder iron, especially when I'm wearing shorts and I'm barefoot. That is not a good idea. Hold on. The scene, give me 1 minute. Woo. Sorry about that. My light game going on. That is a ribbon mic that I've just put 2.5 feet of wiring in it. Give me 1 second so I can switch it up to finish off the mic. I'm going to take out my whole setup for soldering. I've got to put it back again tomorrow, but I'm not going to film that. But for today, do you know what I mean, Mine? I've got to make it presentable. Hold on. And I've got a little bit of real estate here to move around, so forgive the moving and all this stuff. I was really set up for ribbon mic repairs, not soldering, but luckily enough, I've got a little workstation that I can use, and it obviously works fine. I do all the soldering on this old school board because it can't really burn. And I've got this for crazy glue or any weird shit I'm gonna do. Hold on, let me move this out of the way. Wash my hands. Well, usually when you get something like this going on, I would say it's a little bit of a celebration. So let me get my light game going on here. Let's put this microphone right here. What am I missing here? I feel like, we got everything back here? All right, so that is done. Obviously I have to test it, but that is serial number 6. My 6th ever mic made like this. And we're gonna be putting it back into its chassis. And before we do that, I'll give you a lowdown on some other stuff going on in my world. So that is the microphone, fully done up. It's not a beauty contest. Don't judge. Tell me I'm pretty before you tell me I'm fat, kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, Manny, that mic looks pretty damn handsome, but your soldering is fucking fucked up. All right, you can do that. But just tell me my eyes are pretty first before you tell me I'm fat. You know what I'm saying? All right. Enough of the jokes. The paraphernalia. Some of my paraphernalia. Okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Okay, so now this is going to only go in one way, which is going to be this way. Favorite. Actually, let me put my glasses on. No wonder everything's all blurry. When you get used to wearing your glasses, that's the other thing, man. Getting old, that is one of, I mean, you don't think about it until you look at your phone and you're like, what's up with that text message? It can't just seem, what's he saying? Yeah, you're fucked at that point. Your eyes are like tires, man. They just get wore out. All right, do we like this? Do we like that? Okay, I get it. I see what you're doing, mine. All right. I have to get my happy tweezers, the ones I like. Screwdriver, that's the one I don't like. Right now. What you doing, man? Do it. Give me a light game going on here. In one way. That is correct. Yes, here you are. You're offset. time getting this in there. Barely off. With me today, all the times, the stupidest fucking last two screws, and you're fucking with me in front of everyone, in front of Paul, France, Guam. You know, where are you off? Oh my god, this is just like the last fucking schnizzle manizzle I gotta do. And my shit's fucking flying everywhere. And literally, it's here. Hold it now. Hold it now. I know, the last two screws, I get to this going on, and they're like, oh, guess what? We don't want you to put us back together. We don't like this fucking rat's nest you gave us. Okay, these screws are always tricky. The last two motherfucking screws in. Oh, that's why. There's two holes they made a mistake in. One is the one, and one isn't. Okay, I got you. I got you. I see. I see the light. Maybe not. We'll find out as it starts to move again. Come on. Oh my god. You're gonna really do this to me right now? Ugh. Where did you go? I just lose another screw somewhere. I just literally lost it right now in front of me. There it is. I tell you, I'm falling apart. It's 11:30 my time. What is it, the Wizard of Oz, where she's like, I'm melting. Yeah, my brain is just fucking melting down. I got one fucking screw to do. And this mic is just like, oh yeah, by the way, fuck you on this last screw. Really? That's the way you're going to treat this guy? After I make you pure silvered, you $99 fucking mic? Okay, come on. Just want you to go in the fucking hole. Going in there, huh? I got you. I got you, motherfucker. Now let me loosen it because that other one's not gonna go in then. Okay, I loosened you. Alright, don't trip. Holy shit. Can't believe it's coming down to this. I'm having a problem with this one too. Let's see where the screw is. What's going on here? That's not gonna fly out while I'm not on my fucking thing. Okay, I see where you are. This is just turning out to be more of a problem than I thought. Last 2 fucking screws, really? You're floundering around. Oh my God. Well, to everybody that tuned in, and all the hundreds of mics I've done, I've never gotten 2 bolts that are just not aligned unless they're right. Okay, that looks right. I can see you. I see you. Okay. I see you, motherfucker. Go in there. Hurrah, hooray, odele. Okay. This is only going to go on one way. I know this. Okay. That is locked in. You got it. All right. Holy cows. There it is. Obviously, I have to test this, but it's a beauty. Now, it's not a beauty contest. You guys saw it was on the inside. I know, but I'm telling you the truth. It's a fucking badass mic now. Way fucking cool. I made 2 of these for my partner at my ribbon mic company, Dimitri Marmash, in Honolulu, Hawaii. And he just fucking loves it. He cannot get over and how these sound different. Give me 1 second. Now that that mic is done, we need to do a little celebration. I got some black cherry cane sugar soda pop. Oh my God, well deserved. There it is. So this microphone that you just saw me fucking do. Cheers, everyone. This is up for sale. Message me. I made one last week and I sold in a day to my homie up in Washington. I don't know who will get this, but it's number 6. I will test it and it will sound beautiful before I ship it. Make sure. We're going to chase it with some Topo Chico. If you want to help me out, you can buy me a coffee or a Topo Chico. If you look in the below the descriptions, you'll see a thanks icon. You can buy me literally a cup of coffee. So, a little rundown of some other things that were really cool. So this mic, definitely unique. Of the last 4 years of making ribbon microphones, this is number 6 of this style. I painted it with some automotive green. I really like this green. And like I said, it probably has about at least 150 to 200 bucks of pure silver wiring, 18 gauge. But if you're into it, I actually have this for sale as well. Comes in this wonderful, super cool bag. Cascade. This is called a Cascade Victor. I've already redone this one as well. This is not in silver, but you can tell the difference of the size. That ribbon, and you can see in there, that ribbon is like massive. I think it's like 3 inches. But even though the magnet's 2 inches like this, the ribbon's longer. And that kind of throw like that is very reminiscent of an AEA R84. So I think this is Cascade's own version of an R84. This is called a Victor. If you buy a Cascade right now, it's usually about $400 or $450 if you can even find these. I think these are, I don't think Cascade's a company anymore. I think the person I heard passed away who owned that. Now the son has Pinnacle. So all these Cascades that you find out in the world, these are them. I think this is one of the best. Let's see if I can get a light on that. Yeah. That transducer inside, which is hourglass, is one of the best shapes for ribbons, I think. R84s and R88s are some of the greatest ribbons on earth, next to Kohl's and stuff like that. That cost a lot of money. R88s are $23 to maybe $3,000, I don't know. And then R84s are maybe $1,400, $1,300. And that's what I mean. Like these ribbons that I do that you buy for $99 and I redo them, they sound like $1,200 ribbon mics because of the care that I do in installing the ribbon. And like I said, this one is going to be $500. And if you're in the United States, I'll cover the shipping. I'll fully insure it for $500. If you blow it, like the first day you open up the box and you happen to put phantom power and you ruin the ribbon, just short of, I mean, if you crush it and you run it over with the car, I'm not going to fix it. But if you accidentally blow it or you put it on a kick drum or something happens, it's only $30 to cover me on the ribbon, cover the postage, and I'll get this done for you again. This mic is $450. And like I said, it's one of the best shapes of the ribbons. 6-sounding mic. It was called a Victor. And I've gone inside and I put my own ribbon in there. It sounds fabulous. And it comes with a super cool bag. You have to hang these like bats upside down. So these long ribbons, you gotta hang them or the ribbon gets ruined. So when I store this mic right now, it's stored standing up, not laying down on its side. The microphone I just did, those ribbons are just the right size where it doesn't matter if you lay them down. It probably is best if you have them sitting up or straight up, but I think the ribbons are short enough where it's not that big of a deal. Let me get this ribbon mic in the bag. But yeah, so that one's for sale, and so is this one. Like I said, the last one sold within a day. If you really want this, I can only tell you that it's super sick, super smooth, and not because I put a bunch of silver in it, but that's another thing. If you want to do the same thing with silver, it's still $150, $200 of silver that's inside this. But it isn't the value of the silver that makes this killer. Silver has a very smooth sound. It's different than anything else I've used, and these sound different than most Mugami cabling, whatever they use in those, because it's just old school. So that's it. I think that's all I got. I have 3 Cascades coming up and 1 MXL coming up maybe tomorrow. And now, if you can believe it, I'm mixing. I've got to go finish up a mix for a wonderful local band. Email me if you're interested in this. Like I said, this is number 6 of a pure silver microphone. I know it was insane to watch me put it together. If you think you can do a better job than this, that's why I did this video. So you can go ahead and make ribbons and hopefully be inspired by a guy that was like you. I saw a video on YouTube and I said, hey, I can do that. And then here I am designing my own cool, weird ribbons. I do have a sixth sense for ribbons. I can tell when they're in tune, when they're not, visually looking at them. And I can tell that if it's right or wrong. And like I said, few people have, I don't think no one's ever gone live. I've done 3 Kohl's, I think, live. And those are the hardest ribbons to do in the world, to handle 0.6 ribbons. I've also done 160s, 500s. I did Butch Vig's BK5 live. I mean, I have no problem with ribbon mics working on them now, but I can say, because I am a producer and I do sick fucking records, that when I tell you a mic is pretty ridiculous, it is. Because in Los Angeles, where I'm based, I started by basically making ribbons for local producers. And I'll be honest with you, man, a lot of them are dicks. And if it didn't sound good, they will tell you. So I'm kind of been under the scrutiny of being kind of like, was that iron sharpens iron or whatever that is. Because I'm out here, it means there's no fooling around. You know, when I make these mics, they got to sound killer. Every one I get these to is usually to a producer, usually to a guy that's like, dude, I got the drum set up, John Bonham. When you send me this mic, I'm going to use it. So, yeah, it's a lot of pressure. So there's no fucking around. Let me know. Paul, thank you so much, man. Paul's got 12 mics with me. And speaking of Paul, I will say, I will still give a shout out. Probably one of the coolest fucking ribbons here. Paul has 2 of these, and I did them. Holy fucking cow, man. This is a active ribbon. It sounded like I plugged it into an 1176 when I was talking into it. It was so loud and so bitchin' that I'm a little bit blown away on this Superlux. It's called a Superlux R102. If anybody has one of these, you can send them my way. But holy smokes, man. Paul's got 2 of them. And I can't tell you enough on how insane these mics are, because they're active. They're louder. Obviously, they have electronics in them, and they run off 48 volts. But pretty insane on how good these came out. It's a different type than this. This is very natural sounding, very cool. This is just in your face. And like I said, if you have some ribbon mics, you know, having a pair of active ribbons as well isn't a bad thing. So, Paul, there's your schnizzle manizzles. I love them. Well, I'm out of here. It's almost midnight California time. Cheers, everyone. And thanks for tuning in part 2. If you tune in tomorrow, I'll either be the Cascades or it'll be an MXL R40. And I still have a few sets of MXLs, but I'll break it up. And thank you guys. Good night.